Welcome to another episode of Over the Top with my boy Mac and yours truly, Bubs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before we get started, Mac, Jeff City, we're thinking about you. We're here in the community. We're doing our part. Continue to work for each other. Continue to help one another out. Anybody in need, there are places you can go, people you can reach out to. Everybody be safe out there. Got hit with a bad tornado. If you're from out of town and you don't know, people still trying to recover. A lot of people lost a lot of stuff. Luckily, as of right now, no lives were lost in that tornado that hit Jeff City. So we are grateful for that. Jeff City, we're thinking about you.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's exactly what I was going to say, is that like, there was no loss of life. It was a pretty crazy event, though. So just make sure you're being courteous to those who are actually suffering from this situation. Don't be in their way with your photography or anything like that. If you can help, but just try to keep in mind that people did suffer some losses. So just because it's not so serious to you, don't, take your situation for granted, and don't, offend anybody else by just kind of making it a publicity thing. So, like you said, we're here for anybody who needs our help. We'll get the information out there. You can check our page. I'll be sharing links for assistance for people who need that help, So just keep your eyes peeled for that. So definitely want to get that out of the way. Just get that out there. Let them know that you're on our minds, and just keep working together.
Yep. I've been really impressed with how the city has worked together so far, so I'm really happy to see that.
Definitely.
Now, back to Over the Top. We just got done with Money in the Bank, pay-per-view.
Yeah. It finally came, didn't it?
Took a long time.
It came and went. And apologies. I know it's been a minute since we've given the universe something to step to, but we are back in full effect.
Yes.
Got a lot to go over today. Talking about, we already talked about the shakeup, but they still doing this wild card thing. We're gonna get into that. The Money in the Bank came and went. We got a few things we're gonna get into that.
stepping up. Watch out now.
Definitely a lot to get into, Richie.
And we got to preview a little bit of the Super Showdown that they got coming up in a week. Next Friday?
11 days.
Next Friday.
Is next Friday already?
It's next Friday, yeah. Not this Friday, the next one. So we're going to have to hit that one up. So we're going to have to do a couple quick shows back to back here, it sounds like. We'll get it done.
So, the Superstar Showdown. Oh, it's just Super. Is it Super Showdown? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Superstar Showdown was in Australia. Super Showdown is this name. They didn't have to get too creative with that. They didn't have a name last time we did a show. We talked about how they already was booking matches with no official name. So now we got a name.
So we'll have to hit that up next time. This time, let's get back to Money in the Bank. We're going to start with the ladies, the women's division. Hey, ladies! Yes. Let's talk about their Money in the Bank match first. Okay? All in all, I think it was a decent showing. Could have been a little better, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? Let me hear from you.
Well, I'm always excited to see the ladies. I told you that this was going to be a decent match. I told you that Dana Brooke was going to go out there and try to prove herself. Her moments that she had, she held her own. Dana Brooke, obviously she didn't win. She had her moments, you know what I mean? And it was like, as hard as it is to believe that she's actually going to pull it off, even though she had her moments, you kind of were just like waiting for that person to come and take that moment from her.
Right.
She can hold her own for the roles that they give her, and that's what I've been saying. She's been a loser, but she's done it the right way. She is definitely athletic. She's got a background.
She's strong, too. I didn't realize how strong she was.
She's a former, competitor when it comes to weights or something like that. Powerlifter. She's athletic. You see how she comes out and does the flip.
Yeah.
So pretty much she needs to refine her in-ring skills, but she's not terrible.
I think
and
she
it's her
needs
mic
an
skills
image.
too. Her image.
Yeah.
They don't really know what to do with her. They're overloaded with all this talent. So when we move forward throughout the match, talking about all the other women, yeah, it was pretty even all the way through, and Bayley was my pick. That was my pick to
You
win.
hit it, yeah.
So
You called
she
it.
won, and
My pick wasn't even in the match.
true.
Very upset. So that's why I think the match could have been a little better. I think there are some women out there that weren't in the match that I think could have made this match even better. You know, later we learned that there's some injuries that are causing some of the women not to be able to be in this match, like Alexa Bliss still dealing with injury.
All the signs were there. I was kind of like,
You told me she probably wasn't going to do it too.
because
I was like,
they were already putting Nikki Cross in her boots early on, and then the matches that she had, Alexa Bliss is like,
she's one of the top.
but she's just so aggressive that it hurts her. Like she is like an all-out like type of person, kind of like she's like the Jeff Hardy kind of the women's. When she does something, you know, it jeopardizes because of how she's built. You know, she's tiny, so some of these bumps, some of the stuff she's willing to put her body through, you're seeing the wear and tear on her.
Right.
You know, so unfortunately, her few matches that she did have, I was like, woof. There was a couple moments in there where I was like, woof. That looked like it might have not gone so well. Like that knee looked like it really hit her.
It was probably safer for her not to be in the match for her career standpoint.
She's like just going. So it's just like, and then she plays it off, but then boom, now they gotta, you know, make up stories while she's competing.
The other one, Ruby Riott, just had surgery. She wasn't able to be in the match. Felt like she could have been a good addition to the match. But all in all, I was pretty satisfied.
Bayley won. She went on to cash in the same night. I kind of like the way they did it. That's the best way they could do it for Bayley.
For Bayley, yes. But here's my thing. I think Bayley was the wrong choice in winner. A Money in the Bank winner needs to be a heel, right? It needs to be someone that can have the briefcase for a while and taunt the champions, and you never know when the heel's going to take advantage. Okay?
Look.
So but with a face like Bayley winning, yes, get the briefcase out of her hands as quickly as possible was probably the smartest choice.
I could see that.
So before we jump the gun, let's move into these. You already spoiled kind of what happened to the SmackDown title, but Becky Two Belts had to defend her titles on the exact same night, and they made her do it back to back. So she faces Lacey Evans, and I was a little disappointed in that match. I felt they were trying to save Becky too much for the second match. I think that a standalone between Lacey Evans and Becky could be a lot better if they didn't have that Charlotte Flair hanging over the shoulder. Because I think Becky and the WWE strategically held back some.
Yeah, man. Look, I wanted Lacey Evans to win more than I wanted Charlotte Flair to win. So it was the fact that she didn't win that kind of like threw me off a little bit as far as how it's going to go. But then Charlotte came right out.
Walked
That
right down the ring.
Caught me off guard.
Let's go.
Like, but I like that. Let's get it going. Let's get it out the way. It was almost like she cashed in. It was almost like it was like
she
a
kind of
non-official
forced
cash
the
in.
issue because it seemed to me that Becky was like, oh wait, is it happening now?
So when Flair came out, you know, Becky was kind of like, she had that moment where she's just like, I don't have to accept this, but since she's a fighting champion,
bring it.
But she stood there for a minute and was like, really?
She was debating. She didn't want it.
So how do you feel about how that match went?
Well, once again, I think with Lacey Evans getting involved at the end of the match, kind of puts this sour note on the match for me. To me, both of these matches would have been better by themselves on a pay-per-view. Like not having one right after the other, not having Becky have two matches.
So, okay, this kind of goes back to even WrestleMania then. Do you feel like the way they are putting the matches together, because you remember there was that Dole moment, you said that Kofi was the boom in the middle of the card.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, do you feel like that was kind of the same thing?
No, because since they were making Becky have 2 matches, I thought the most creative thing they could have done is to force her to do it back to back. And they had Becky lose in a way that still makes her the man, right? Had to have interference to help Flair, help her out.
And you see how they're like giving Becky the title, the first woman to pin Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
So that's kind of along the same lines as that. Like, you never beat me.
Right. It wasn't fair enough.
This fat.
It wasn't a fair win.
That's what a triple threat is. You hate these matches. I mean, it wasn't an official triple threat, but in the situation where you got somebody outside the ring.
Yeah.
There's only so many scenarios here. The outside the ring person distracts the ref, or the ref gets distracted and that person does something to the person that they're after.
Right.
Or the referee sees the interference and that gets a disqualification.
Match is null and void. Yeah.
So once she came out there, I mean, you knew it was either going to be a disqualification or that belt was going to change hands. So
the belt changed hands. Charlotte becomes the SmackDown champion for how many times now?
9.
9-time women's champion between the Raw title and the SmackDown title. Charlotte Flair, 9-time champion.
Now, didn't she win it like twice in like the past 3 months or something? Hasn't she been a champion like 2 times the past 3 months? All I'm saying
probably
is,
if they would have taken an entire month to get to Money in the Bank.
There are plenty of other females. Now, I'm a Charlotte Flair fan, all right? Don't get me wrong. But she's already crossed into historical waters now. She's past Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus is a 7-time champion. Either way, Charlotte Flair is a 9-time champion now. Her father, Ric Flair, is a 16-time champion who it took him a while to get to 16.
Long career.
Now you got John Cena.
At the beginning of a career still.
Well, John Cena, he's had a long career too, but not nearly as long as Ric Flair, who he is now tied. Flair is...
Don't forget Orton.
Orton's like 13 or something like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Orton's like 13.
He's up there though.
My point is that Flair is on the accelerated John Cena program.
Okay.
Because Cena is tied with history, and now he gets to flirt with when he wants to break that barrier. He has enough respect and other stuff going on outside of wrestling to flirt with that. Charlotte, she's like all about wrestling. Now, I'm not gonna knock her. She lives, breathes wrestling. But since she is born into the company, A, and B, one of the better talents, if not the best talent, on the women's roster.
But she wasn't better than Bayley.
Listen, she still got her 9th reign in, though.
They
could have easily had Bayley do a villainous thing. They could have. They can write it however they want to write it. But...
yeah, but Bayley's too sweet and innocent to be a heel.
When does that stop anybody? They got Jake the Snake putting Randy Savage's wife on his pants back in the day and stuff like that to piss him off.
That was
the other way around.
That was Ravishing Rick Rude that did that.
Either way it goes. I'm just saying, they cross barriers all the time. They wrote Roman Reigns' leukemia into a storyline.
Did they though?
I mean, yes. They played on that. Now Roman Reigns comes back and gets to be a hero, the hero that they tried to make him be. But we digress from our point.
Yes.
Bayley wins.
Bayley hit the worst elbow drop in the history of elbow drops to beat Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Sorry. Give
me 5. Okay, give me 5 elbow drops that are better. 5. Because you're gonna put her in the top 5 if you can.
Anyone else that has never done an elbow drop.
Name them finishers. Elbows. Go. 3. Give me 3. Okay, Randy Savage. 1. Now go. Not even finishers. Setup moves. Let's go. Because I can think of some, but I'm gonna put her in my top 5.
No.
Look. Randy Savage, number 1, okay? I'm going to put Kairi Sane at number 2 because hers is just crazy looking whenever she does her elbow. Shawn Michaels had an elbow. He does that. Number 3. Bret Hart, he did a signature elbow as well. It was plain, it was basic, but when he hit it, you knew that he meant business.
And then get the sharp.
And then we got Bayley, because I don't know the other elbows.
No.
I mean, I know more elbows, but that's her finishing move. Okay, Velveteen Dream. Bayley, Velveteen Dreams is better. Okay.
There you go. Not the top 5. But still, I'm not saying all of her elbow drops are bad. That one was bad.
You want to tell me about bad aerial assaults? You want to go there? With Becky Lynch running around here still doing drop kicks from the top rope and leg drops? She looks like she's afraid of heights because she goes straight down.
She might be.
Why?
I don't know that.
Okay, there's another example of WWE writing against people's character.
Anyway.
Yes. Let's move on to the men's.
That elbow drop that night was the worst.
All right.
The only thing worse than that is Tamina doing anything.
Bayley's been on a roll since winning that belt. I saw her on SmackDown last night.
I'll give you that.
And it was a decent match. She got out of that ring. She's got a new little attitude to her.
But
we need to see a new attitude from her. We need to see a darker side from her. And I think that she can pull off this transition. She needs to turn. Like, she needs to do whatever it takes to keep the belt. We always lean towards the villains. That's what we do. So the bubbly stuff, it gets played out. Everybody turns.
I don't think she can turn.
Her closest time to turning was whenever she was beefing with Sasha. Remember they had to go to counseling? When she attacked Sasha, I thought that's when we were going to see the new Bayley. But they went right back to the old Bayley. But now that Sasha's gone, by the way, I wonder if she's jealous.
You know it.
All right, let's go ahead and move on.
Moving on. Now let's move on to the men. Money in the Bank. Wow. First off, Sami Zayn gets beat up and attacked.
Yes, he did.
Never makes it to the match.
No, he didn't.
Braun Strowman gets accused, kicked out. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Braun.
Did he even do it, though?
Did he?
Like, that seems odd. When is Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar taking the time to tie somebody up?
I know who I think it is.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell him.
Bray Wyatt did that.
Now, we thought going into Money in the Bank, we thought we were going to see him. We'll get into that later, though.
So the match starts with 7 men, not 8. 7 men, not 8. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100 here. I was a little preoccupied with the Game of Thrones series finale when this match started.
How did you feel about that?
We don't have time to get into all that. We don't have time to bring Game of Thrones into it right now. It's just we don't got time for that. We'll be here too long. So I'm gonna say first off, some of the guys that I didn't think were gonna be legit in this match were legit in this match. Ricochet and Ali showed out.
What did I tell you? I said they were kind of built.
You're right.
I said they were built for these type of situations.
But I went back and watched it because that night I was a little preoccupied. But I went back and watched it later, fresh eyes. You know who showed out the most to me?
Who?
The Viper.
Randy Orton held his own.
Oh, I thought he was going to win there for a minute.
They have diamonds in the rough, and they don't use them all the time. And he's one of those guys that
he can pull it out anytime he wants to steal the show.
Anytime. He's been there a million times.
Holy.
And that's kind of where he's at with his character right now. That's what he's saying. He's like, I'm
the
who
best.
I am. It was a good match, man.
It was good.
I was pretty excited for Ricochet. Ali, I want to call him Mustafa because that's who I know him as. But Ali held his own. I told you he holds his own. I don't know much about him.
I thought he was going to win there for a minute.
He has heart, man. Dude has heart. And yeah, he was one of the last guys that were...
I was a little disappointed in Finn.
Finn Balor, and that's part of what he's saying right now. So coming up to the Superstar Showdown, he's got a match that you was wanting to see.
Yes.
But part of his bitterness is feeding into why he's going to be the demon at that match. Part of his bitterness from the ladder match because Almaz had his own with Finn. Everybody had their own with Finn in the match.
Yeah, I was disappointed in Finn.
He was pretty much a punching bag for everybody. Throw him on the ladder. You know, that's who he was. He was the guy taking that. He probably had all kinds of welts on his back after that match. Drew McIntyre. That was my pick to win. I'm just waiting for him to. Drew McIntyre. He's going to have his moment, believe me. But it's just not yet. But he did hold his own. He let everybody in the match know he was there. Like you said, Randy Orton. I'm pretty sure everybody called an RKO. Who else do we have that like? It was odd having 7 guys out there.
It was strange.
It was odd that they just didn't just out of nowhere come up with somebody, even if that person were to get taken out of the match. Because I think in past times they've had people get injured in the match and get removed from the match. Carmella's done that.
Yeah.
You know, and whether they return or not. Last year in the Royal Rumble, Lana, remember she got hurt, or Nia Jackson took her out.
Right.
Either way it goes, you know, people, they just take the easy way out whenever they do that, whenever they don't fill that spot. So it's just odd.
They filled that spot.
They filled the spot. They definitely filled the spot.
It got filled and it ate it.
So, like I said, Ali almost won. He's climbing the ladder. He's got his fingertips on the briefcase. Now, this is the only thing I don't like about ladder matches. After all of these years, why have they not figured out how to sell almost getting it better?
Yeah, you're right.
That person, like...
I need to take one more step.
Or time when you decide to climb the ladder better.
Yeah.
Because they get to the ladder, they get up the ladder, they climb in so slow, or you see them at the bottom of the ladder looking up there like, okay, other person, stand up, because you got to knock me off of this. Hurry up and stand up. All right, I'm climbing now. I am climbing now. Where are you? I'm climbing now.
Oh, I slipped.
Yeah, so Ali's at the very top of the ladder. He's got his fingers on the briefcase. Brock Lesnar, they have time to drop this man's music and his big tail run all the way from the back of the arena into the ring. Ali's still standing up there. Now, please believe, if Mac had a wrestling contract, Mac grabs that contract before Brock Lesnar hits the ring. Mac might even be out of the ring by the time Brock Lesnar gets to the ring. Look, I'm like, what? I take it down and I'm out. He just stood there and looked at him. So Brock Lesnar was able to win. Now we have a Mr. Beast in the bank.
The one thing I do love about this situation, actually 2 things I love about the situation, is one, I'm always for the unpredictable. And that was unpredictable. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I did not. I thought maybe Bray Wyatt would come out there. I thought maybe Sami Zayn would be faking it the whole time and come out there and steal the show at the end. But Brock Lesnar.
So,
boy.
All right, so back to the way they put the show together, though. For me, I didn't like the fact that the men's ladder match was the last match of the night. It completely closed the door on the possibility of a male cash-in. Even if you're not going to do it, I think that even if it was the second to last match, and then you had one of the title matches to close the show, at least give me that window, that you know,
hint of possibility.
Just possibility. They completely eliminate that whenever they. That's what I mean. The women's match was there earlier on.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about that.
Start the show with the women's ladder match.
The only thing I say about that is the pay-per-view is called Money in the Bank. The Royal Rumble. The one time it was, do you remember that one year they decided to do the Royal Rumble first? It was awful. Everything after that, who cared?
There's 2 now, though. So that's better. You can do it.
There is 2 now.
And
Yeah. But the Money in the Bank.
There's so many titles. If you want to do it right, they can do it right. Because there wasn't even a tag team defense that night.
I will say, the Universal Championship could have closed the night out because that was the match of the night. Boy, you called this again.
Have Mr. Money in the Bank just come to the entryway.
Boy, Mac was on point with these predictions because he told me that AJ Styles and Seth Rollins was going to be better than Kofi and Kevin Owens. And I said he was a liar, and I was proven wrong.
Yes. I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and whenever I look at the styles of people getting matched up.
AJ Styles and Seth Rollins.
You see things as well. You see things too because you called the Finn Balor and the All-Mass matchup. And then you called a couple things going on in the tag team division as well. So it's just depending on what you got your eyes on.
Yeah.
And those are two guys that kind of been at the top of my list.
Yeah.
So to have them going against each other, and you said it was the first time, right?
That these two faced off.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, let's see what we got here. Because Kofi Kingston,
that was a WrestleMania. That felt better than Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
oh yeah,
That match was legit.
And then there's the show of respect at the end of the match too.
Yeah.
I thought AJ was going to pull something slick. I thought
something
was going to
I thought he
happen.
was going to turn.
But all in all,
Yeah, it was good.
my boy Seth over here, even though he's getting that work put in on him by Cena right now, it's just because the action figure's legs don't bend in the way that they need to, so I can do his finishing move on Cena. So he loses by default only because of that. Otherwise, he's on his way. He's on his way. Monday Night Rollins.
Yes. And I will say that I thought Kevin Owens and Kofi would have been better than what it was. It was decent. Don't get me wrong. It was a good match. And Kofi did his thing and retained the title. I just wanted a little more. Just a little more. But when you have AJ and Seth doing what they do, still in the night, it's hard to have that happen twice.
I think Kofi put on a good show.
I think it was good, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
wrong.
it wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
I mean, like I said, I was expecting that other match to be better. But I was expecting Kofi to get manhandled a little bit. I was expecting Kofi to...
And he did for a little bit. But then he held his own. He did. He held his own against Kevin Owens.
Yeah, well... I was expecting Sammy to come out a little bit. I know I mentioned before I didn't know where their standing was, but since Kofi has the New Day, I figured they were going to try to balance the odds out a little bit for Kevin Owens.
Right.
Kofi's been a dominant champion.
He has. And Xavier really wasn't a factor in that match either. Big E wasn't even around. So both champions retained on the night. Brock Lesnar is now in the #1 contender spot whenever he chooses. That is scary. And on Raw, he didn't even know the rules. I thought that was hilarious. Brock Lesnar didn't know he had a full year to cash in. He comes to the ring with his confidant, whatever you want to call him, Paul Heyman. They're about to make their announcement, and then only does Brock Lesnar realize, oh, I have a year to decide? Ha! Joke's on you guys. I'm going to take my time now, which I love. I love the way he's playing it. He's funny. He's more energetic than I've seen Brock Lesnar in a long time. Brock Lesnar is now on the top of his game, in my opinion. He's put the UFC behind him, I think.
He's out there. He's boomboxing it, dancing.
Boomboxing it.
He's interacting with Paul Heyman more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think him announcing his full retirement from the UFC and having this Money in the Bank is going to be. We're gonna get the best Brock Lesnar we've gotten in a long time, and we all know how good Brock Lesnar can be.
And he doesn't. From what I know, he doesn't have a match listed for Super Showdown, right?
But he's got that briefcase.
So Kofi's gonna go against Ziggler.
Yes, Kofi is defending his title against my boy. My boy is back.
Shawn Michaels Part 2?
Yes. No, Dolph Ziggler Part 1.
No, that is another reenactment of Shawn Michaels. Bro.
Yeah, he grew up a Shawn Michaels fan, obviously. He's gonna steal. You're gonna
it's
steal who you like, right?
I guess.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, of course. That's like baseball players now today. They call it the jump throw, the Jeter throw, right?
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
But I mean, you get a little bit of extra on it when you come off the ground, though.
I got you. I'm so excited. My boy is back. So he's got his title match against Kofi. I think that's going to be excellent.
That'll be a pretty good matchup. I think that's closer to what we got with AJ and Seth Rollins. So yeah, I think and Kofi loves performing on this stage that he's put on right now. So he
Yeah.
wants to be known as a dominant champion. He's been on a roll since becoming champion. I'm pretty sure he's undefeated since becoming the champion. So I actually am looking forward to seeing that as well from him.
Yeah. And AJ will be against Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin takes on Seth Rollins.
Oh, that's what I meant. I said AJ.
Seth Rollins takes on Baron Corbin at Super Showdown.
Yes.
He won that battle royal. It was a 4-way. I didn't see it, but I know the outcome.
Yeah.
It was AJ, himself, I think maybe Lashley or McIntyre, one of those two.
Wasn't McIntyre, 'cause McIntyre was doing his stuff with Shane and The Miz.
True. The Miz was in that match.
Oh, then what it maybe was. Yeah, Miz. Because Miz got whooped. He was getting thrown around like crazy.
But yeah.
But yeah, Baron Corbin. I don't know. That match to me is just, I mean, Baron Corbin doesn't do it for me right now. Move on. Let's come back and talk about it a little bit more. All right, let's talk a little bit about everything else that happened at Money in the Bank. A lot of other matches happened. Let's go over bit by bit real quick. So Tony Nese defended his cruiserweight title, and it wasn't on the pre-show.
What was it on?
It was in the main card. The cruiserweight title defense happened on the main card for like the first time in ages.
I think that's probably why I actually saw that match. He went against that Middle Eastern looking guy?
Yeah, the Davari.
Davari, yeah. Okay, yeah. I actually saw that match. And I'm pretty sure I picked Tony Nese to win that one.
Yeah, we both did.
Yeah, because I had no idea who he was fighting, and I knew he was aggressive.
Yeah.
But that was actually...
It was a decent match. They did their own.
Yeah.
I mean, it was no Buddy Murphy title defense, but...
I don't even... Did you see that match between those two, Murphy and Nese?
Yes, it was a good match. That was the pre-show of WrestleMania. It was good. Really good.
Okay.
Really good.
I didn't know that Nese was a good guy until I saw this.
But now Buddy Murphy's kind of moved on to SmackDown. Not really on 205 Live.
He finally gained his weight back. He was able to finally exceed 205 like he wanted to. I'm sure he'll be even heavier hitting.
We had on the pre-show, since I already brought up the pre-show, we had what I thought was a great tag team match between the Usos and what they're calling themselves the Saviors. Daniel Bryan and what's his name?
Eric Rowan.
Rowan. Saviors, right? I thought it was a really good match.
Is that their name, or did we just...
I think you came up with that.
The Planet Saviors, whatever you want to call them. They hug trees. They
Daniel Bryan and his big guy that does things for him. It was a really good match.
I didn't see that.
But it was on the pre-show. Now the Usos won.
Should have been a title.
Beat the SmackDown Tag Team Champions non-title match. Come on, give me a break.
They're crossing over into historic waters too with their title reigns, I believe.
So they should. They're good together.
They're getting up there.
Then we had what I consider to be a waste of time. Elias versus Roman Reigns.
That's
Elias attacked him in the back with the guitar.
Yeah.
He did get through a song though.
For the first time maybe ever.
He finished a song. It was decent. Yeah, alright. Then Roman came out there and put the stomping on him real quick.
Yeah, so...
I think it was a waste of my time. It could have been... Both of them are really good at what they do. And I think they could have been better. But once again, you have so many matches on a card. So little time.
Once again, I picked Roman Reigns to win. I will never pick against Roman Reigns in that situation unless he's just going to brutally get put down by somebody. Roman Reigns is who they have picked to be their cash cow. So, no, Elias is not going to put him down. Now, I enjoyed seeing Elias on SmackDown the next week, or Raw, when he was on top of the truck. Roman Reigns showed up to the arena, Elias was up there waiting on him playing the song, and Roman Reigns had to look up at him playing, like, what the heck? Elias makes me laugh. I think he's got big things coming to him. I just think that there's just so much talent right now, he's just got to wait his turn. Now, it's slowly coming around for him, though. Slowly but surely, because he also had a few WrestleMania moments now, so He just got to go through the process. But I think that by him being lined up with Shane McMahon now,
Yeah.
they're pretty much showing him that, hey, we see you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Almost forgot this one. Samoa Joe lost his title to your boy Rey Mysterio.
And now they're saying Rey Mysterio's injured. So, Rey Mysterio finally did it.
So what are they gonna do now? Get back to Joe?
It's
Which
vacated.
it was controversial.
They're saying that he's...
Joe's shoulder was up anyway. Right? You saw it too.
It was
Don't
up.
lie. It was
That's
up.
why he's saying next week we're going to see what they're going to do. They're going to... I think Rey Mysterio is supposed to vacate that title next week, actually, because he's pretty much in the same... He became a Grand Slam champion, though. I told you he came back
You did.
to stack stuff. I'm telling you guys, I mean, it's a business. But they reward these guys once they get to a certain level. It's just they got to do it a certain way. So it took a while. Rey Mysterio finally got to that mountain peak. I hope his injury isn't too serious. I'll have to do some more looking into that. But yeah, he did that. His shoulders were up, like you said, so I didn't really enjoy the win as much as I should have.
Right. And it was really quick.
Samoa Joe whooped his butt after that.
Yes.
And I did like that. As much as I didn't like it the first time, since Samoa Joe lost the way he did, it was only right.
Yeah. Absolutely. The worst match of the night, the cage match. Shane McMahon beats The Miz because The Miz wanted to put a hurting on Shane. And every time The Miz was about to get out of the cage, Shane would taunt him. Miz would fall for it, go back in. It was too predictable. I don't have time for Shane McMahon anymore. I'm done with him. Get rid of him. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, it was.
Set up.
It was just like one of those. It was like a trash time match. It felt like, it's one of those
And it
matches.
took way too long.
It's safe to go get you something to drink, something to eat. If you're at the arena, same story. This is one you can burn, come back, maybe you can catch how this is gonna finish type of situation. But yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with that. I'm not sure who I picked to win that one, but
I think we both picked The Miz, if I remember right, because we thought since The Miz lost at Mania, he would redeem himself at Money in the Bank, but it didn't happen.
I feel like I almost went with Shane, just the simple fact that just to humiliate The Miz, Shane was unconscious when he beat him last time, and Shane slipped out of his t-shirt this time for the win. So, just the same way your girl Becky Lynch didn't technically lose, even though it's a fluky win, Shane still won. He fluky won, but he technically won. He's playing it from the other side, so nothing too out of the ordinary there. But I do want to ask you, what was your biggest surprise of the night?
Biggest surprise?
So far, at least. What was your biggest surprise of everything?
Of everything with Money in the
Money in
Bank?
the Bank, or now in general, just to where we're at right now. What's been your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise is still Brock Lesnar is Mr. Money in the Bank. If you would have told me to name a list of all the WWE superstars that you thought might win Money in the Bank, he probably wouldn't have been on the list, because I thought after WrestleMania he was gone.
Well,
I did.
we
I thought
knew that he was
gone.
going to be at the show. So I'm going to agree with you on this one. My biggest surprise as well was the fact that it was Brock Lesnar, because when we saw Sami Zayn upside down,
I thought it was Bray Wyatt going to come in.
we thought it was Bray Wyatt. The simple fact that he's been having these promos and there was a pay-per-view coming, we figured he would have a role in the pay-per-view. So, or even somebody else, just anybody else.
And Bray Wyatt didn't even have a promo at that.
I'm just saying, the only thing we've really known is that Brock Lesnar signed the contract and that he was going to be at the showdown.
Yeah.
Perhaps, potentially. It was already said that he was going to be at the showdown. With that being said, and us not knowing who that 8th participant was going to be, and presumably it was going to be, and Braun Strowman got kicked out the arena.
Gone. Totally.
So it's like,
For a
it could have
second,
been anybody.
for a second, I thought it was going to be Triple H.
I mean,
For a
that was
second,
on my
that
mind
crossed
too.
my mind.
That's what I'm saying.
That crossed my mind
Anybody.
before Brock.
It could have been anybody. And Triple H has been an active wrestler a lot more lately. So, yeah, when you heard that music hit, it was like, wow. But at the same time, it made sense. Like, from the moment I heard the music, I was like, okay, now they're making a little sense to me because he can dedicate his time. They can do what they want with this now that he's done with the UFC.
I really like the way
he holds that Money in the Bank contract like he holds the title now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be there. He can bait you with it. He can tease you with it. Now you got to look over your shoulder. Perfect guy for that. Unless it was going to be Samoa Joe, you know what I mean? Like Samoa Joe, somebody who makes sure you just don't know about this person, what they're going to do, and they just got the power to make the outcome even more their favor.
And he can distract a champion in a match just by his music playing. You know, every match from here on out, any champion who is in a match and Brock Lesnar's music hits, 50% of their focus is now gone. And is thinking, is this the time? Is this it? Is this the time I'm going to lose the title to Brock Lesnar? For sure.
So
what were you disappointed about? That was a good surprise, right? I think it was a good surprise. Now that I've seen the way it developed, I'm pleased with it. What's your biggest letdown of the night?
It's obvious. Where the hell is Bray Wyatt? My biggest letdown. Once that music hit, I also knew, because this was the last match of the night.
Minutes before lights went out. Yeah.
Once this happened, I knew that Bray Wyatt didn't have a spot on the show. And then moving forward from there, he's done another promo. He just did another promo. But one since then, if I'm not mistaken.
How many promos can a guy do before he shows up?
We already know he is. Now, with new people, I get it. Now, I don't know if he's had an injury as well, Bray Wyatt, and they're playing this to
He did, but I feel like it's been...
He's probably not medically cleared.
It's gotta be by now.
I don't know. I mean, same thing with Alexa Bliss, but yeah, my biggest letdown is the fact that he wasn't a part of the pay-per-view, that he's not the briefcase holder, and moving forward, that he hasn't inflicted more on the roster on the shows, opposed to the promos. Promos are still good, but I want to see him take some accountability for what happened to Sami Zayn. I want to see some more people found backstage in some weird situations. I want to see some appearances from Bray Wyatt.
Bring on Bray Wyatt. My biggest letdown. Here we go. Where are the tag team titles at?
Where they at, though?
Where are you at, Ryder and Hawkins?
Where they at, though?
The Iconics aren't even around. They weren't even mentioned on the night. What are they doing?
They probably went home.
Sleeping. Where is SmackDown titles being actually defended, not just wrestling a match? I am a huge tag team division advocate. I want more tag team division. You know who had a lot of tag team matches at their pay-per-view?
Who was that?
All Elite Wrestling did. They had about 5 tag team matches on their pay-per-view. And we get one on the pre-show? Where's the Revival?
I couldn't even tell.
Where's Heavy Machinery? Where's the War Raiders? Where's the Bar? Where's the Hardys?
All right, Sheamus.
I know everybody is hurt.
Yeah.
Come on. New Day. Come on. I'm tired of not
So
having
is that tag teams that are on SmackDown? Because I was just about to say, I don't even know what tag teams are on SmackDown, and I'm starting not to know who they actually have on Raw either. Because it's like the tag team.
Because we got this wild card.
Too many tag team belts. So we got one too many tag team belts, if you ask me. There needs to only be one tag team belt. The tag teams, if it's such a thin, field, need to be on both shows as well. This whole mix-up thing, my God, like, they got all these middle card belts.
Hold on. Yeah, I can't. I don't have anything to say. Where's our tag team divisions at? Where's the New Age Outlaws?
Where they at?
Where's the Headbangers? Where's the Heart Foundation? Where's any tag team? The Acolytes, the APA, the Brood, Edgy Christian, the Dudley Boys. WWE used to have one of the greatest tag team divisions, and now we got the Usos.
Holding it down, both shows will be your wild card every week going forward because they have to. Simple as that. Moving forward.
So Vince McMahon hit us with this wild card where he said 3 wrestlers from Raw could go to SmackDown. 3 wrestlers from SmackDown could go to Raw each week. I have a problem with this, Vince. Number 1, you're lying to me because there's been more than 3 each week on either show. Number 2, it's not wild at all. It's the same people every time. I understand. Champions should be able to be on both shows. I'm with you there. Kofi should be on Raw every week. Rollins should be on SmackDown every week. They're champions. They should be able to defend their title on any show. But what I don't understand is the people. You got Drew McIntyre on both shows every week. You got Shane McMahon doing whatever he wants because for some reason people think that we want to see Shane McMahon every week. I'm tired of Shane McMahon. I'm tired of seeing him one night a week, let alone 2. Stick him on one show and at least save me one day from having to see him.
Let me at him. The boy wonder, the best in the world.
No, worst. So I think it's just an excuse to get the best talent seen more often. I'm not a fan of it. There's no rules, it seems. There's no point to it. I would like somebody to comment below if you like the wild card so far. Comment below. I'm curious as to why.
The people that have been the beneficiaries of the wild card should already have the authority to be on both shows. For the most part, it's been the champions and it's been the top guys. The wild card needs
No,
to
and
be...
it's been Lars Sullivan. If I ever see that guy one more time, I swear.
You see him one more time at the Super Showdown because he's taking on Lucha House Party.
Why? Didn't they do that at Money in the Bank?
Because they want to show how he can take on 3 men, 3 of the bottom talent. But also, champions, like you said, need to be on both shows anyways, if that's the case. Champions should be on both shows. That way they can fight the best talent. That way we have something fresh to look at. People like Roman Reigns, they need to establish themselves. Roman Reigns should be on SmackDown right now. He should be establishing himself only on SmackDown.
I got something to say real quick. I hope everybody's listening. And WWE, if you ever watch this, I hope you listen to this.
I think they're listening.
Lars Sullivan, the comments he made and he got fined is bullshit. One of the greatest athletes in your sport ever made a comment at one point in time and you guys blacklisted him for years.
Facts. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan was blacklisted, gone, couldn't say his name, couldn't sell his merchandise.
History was almost erased.
He wasn't ever at the Hall of Fame ceremonies
For video games.
Years. And Lars Sullivan comes out with this information that he's spitting out.
And they try to slip it on the rug.
And you find him. That is a joke.
They only fined him because we found out about it.
Not only are you only finding him, you are highlighting him every night. He has no talent, he has no personality, and I have no clue why the WWE is playing him up like he is. Every time he comes on the TV, I turn it off. I don't want to see it. I'm over it. Said my piece.
I don't have nothing to say about the guy. I'm pretty sure the same things you've already voiced about him, I said in previous episodes of the show. So, yeah, nothing from me moving forward.
Sorry, I got off topic there. I had to say it. I had to say it.
All right. This next segment that we're going to get into, we call it Push or Bury. I'm going to ask Bubs here a few people. I'm going to see if he wants to push them, meaning should they continue doing what they're doing with them, or if he wants to bury them, meaning scrap it, back to the drawing boards, give me something else. All right? Okay, so number 1, Bayley as the champion. We're going to push her, we're going to bury Bayley as the champion.
personally, I would like to bury Bayley as the champion, only because there are some women in the WWE I think are better, more entertaining, more athletic. I would like to see hold the title. Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, just to name a couple.
All right, yeah, I can feel that. So number 2 on the list I got here, your girl Becky Lynch and her quest.
Becky won belt.
Becky won belt. We found out what we were going to call her after the pay-per-view. Becky won belt. Anyways, her quest to become Becky 2 belts again. Are we going to push this journey, or are we just going to bury it?
I think, unlike, so a minute ago we were talking about how weak the tag team division in WWE is right now and how I don't like it. The opposite for me is with the women's division. I think the women's division is really solid. There are a lot of deserving women that deserve airtime, belt time. So I'm going to bury Becky's quest to hold 2 titles because the division isn't weak. I could see if give the Usos both tag titles right now, I'd be okay with it, right? Because who's really out there to challenge, right? Yes, Daniel Bryan and Rowan are decent, but the Usos are the best tag team. Facts.
Big facts.
I'd be okay with 2 titles on the Usos, but there's so many women right now in the WWE that can hold their own, can perform on the mic, perform in the ring. There's no reason to waste the division on 2 belts on one person.
Number 3, Dolph Ziggler. We're going to push or we're going to bury his off?
What?
Your boy Dolph.
You even asking this question?
Your boy Dolph.
Boy, are we pushing Dolph to the top. Kofi got his title reign. Ziggler needs his title reign back, baby.
He's a grand slammer. Isn't he a grand slammer?
He better be. If he's not, he needs to be. He will be.
All right. Well, I got my answer.
Push him to the
sure.
top.
He can go on for days about Dolph Ziggler, so let's not give him that green light.
Yes.
Let's move on to number 4, Brock Lesnar. We're going to push him, we're going to bury Brock Lesnar.
As Money in the Bank title holder, you got to keep pushing. I like what he's doing. He's more entertaining right now than he has been in years. So I'm okay with giving him a little extra boost. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And last, certainly not least, former member of the Bar, Cesaro. Are we going to push Cesaro or are we going to bury Cesaro?
I think Cesaro is one of the best athletes in the WWE. The problem with Cesaro right now is he's stuck in one of those areas where the WWE and even me and you, I don't know if I was going to push him where I'd push him to. I don't know. Him and Sheamus were great together. Sheamus is out for a while. I don't know. He's had some really good matches against Ricochet.
Yes.
That's been some good television, right?
Yeah.
But what's it for? To get over Ricochet? Probably. So Cesaro...
Or to establish himself back in the singles. I mean, that's what they do with all the guys. They kind of start him at the low. So if you ask me, if that's the case, he's gotten the plus because we know Ricochet and Ricochet's potential.
Yeah.
So Almas was one of those guys.
Yeah.
That were kind of where Ricochet's at, that you knew and you were waiting for his moment.
I think Cesaro versus Joe for the United States title, if it's going to be vacated by Ray, because Joe is a dominant force. Cesaro is not a little guy, super athletic, Swiss cyborg. I can see that. I'm always for pushing Cesaro. He's one of the top in the game.
So who you got for me?
All right. My least favorite person on the roster. I want to hear your thoughts. You know who he is. That Lars.
That dude?
Yeah, the guy.
Bury that. Like, the closest thing I can compare him to is Vader, because they say that he's from the Rocky Mountains, I think. I'm pretty sure they're saying that Lars Sullivan is from the Rocky Mountains, too. Vader's from the Rocky Mountains. They got that mean, tough guy, that odd, strong body, you know. I'm good on that. Next person.
Baron Corbin.
Kansas City native, so from that aspect, you know, from Missouri, I guess. They didn't specify whether it was Kansas or Missouri, so I'm gonna assume it's Missouri because when you say Kansas City, I'm gonna think the Missouri side first. With that being said, he's had my support from that aspect. I kept a close eye on him. I do see talent. I do see potential there. You mentioned to me before that you think he should get a outfit change.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that idea. They're kind of pushing that halfway corporate. If we repackage Baron Corbin, or if they make a little bit more sense out of the direction he's headed right now, I'm going to say push him. If what we're seeing right now is actually part of a bigger plan, push him. But if this is just Phil Baron in season, bury it. So overall, push Baron Corbin because I think moving forward for the future years of the company, he can be a great asset. So I'm going to say push Baron Corbin.
I want to hear what you think about my boy Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, so I think Dolph Ziggler is a spin-off of Shawn Michaels, but at the same time I said, Shawn Michaels Part 2, and you said Dolph Ziggler Part 1. Both true statements. Dolph Ziggler has freedom right now to kind of come and go as he please. He's got a handshake agreement with the company. So when he's not busy doing his side stand-up or whatever other projects that he does, he can come back and dedicate his time when he wants to the company, which is a great way. I think that he's earned that privilege. It's kind of like Brock Lesnar.
I compare it more to like Jericho.
Yes.
When Jericho was with the WWE, he would come, he'd hold the title down for a little bit, go back on tour with the band. So that's kind of like a Jericho situation.
Push Dolph Ziggler. He's I think he gets it. He knows what he can do, when he can do it, how he can do it, how to say what he needs to say, how to play whatever character, whatever role they put him in. If he's going to be in the spotlight long term, I think he can handle that. Or if he's just going to pop up here and there, he's proven that he knows how to take advantage of his moments. So push Dolph Ziggler.
Somebody that I feel has kind of been in a rut lately, kind of like a little bit of the Cesaro situation. They don't know what to do with him almost. They keep doing the same thing with him. He's almost on repeat, is Braun Strowman. What are your thoughts?
I've never fully understood that character of Braun Strowman. Once breaking away from Bray Wyatt, Mick Foley, Braun Strowman, first he began beating up jobbers. And then he'd go after Mick Foley and complain about not having any competition. So they made sense of it by him complaining about it. And then eventually he started getting some competition. And then it became top guys that he was beating up. I think that they accelerated his path to a point where they had to pump the brakes, but it was too noticeable that they pumped the brakes with him. He had an injury in between hand, but the fact that he was Mr. Money in the Bank and nothing ever transpired from that, because he pretty much said, I want to fight the champion on this date, and it didn't go his way. That's the same thing that happened with Baron Corbin. That's why we're all like, what are you, you had your chance, now you're getting another chance. Like, it's weird, it's awkward. Like, when you had your peak, it just kind of fizzled. It didn't really, the fact that you didn't take advantage of that situation.
What do we do now?
What do we do now? Like, it's that dead area where I said Samoa Joe had flirted with and so many other people. So Braun Strowman is almost the mascot of this area because it's like he's created his own saying, get these hands, his own following. He's has a cartoon on his shirt now. And just so much about him is predictable. The raw, let's go. Like, so much, he's created his own brand being Braun Strowman. So I think that they've become content with the fact that he can just be a part of the roster with nothing, with no real goal. So maybe we push Braun Strowman towards the 24-hour title.
That's a thought.
I mean, it's going to take the whole locker room to get that man down if he were to get that belt.
He wouldn't be running, I know that.
That could be a creative idea within
And that could be a way to legitimize the 24-hour title, which we'll get to that later. Last one, the Iconics. What do you thought of the women's tag team champions who have yet to defend their title?
Listen, I've let it marinate for a little bit. They need real competition. Now, they might not be the strongest of group of ladies, but they are a true tag team. They've come in together, they've stayed together, everything about them is about the other person. Even if one were to win a singles title, the other one would be right there assisting, kind of how the New Day did whenever they had their tag team run. They have to sit pretty and sit away from the scene right now because they got to get, just like the men's side, they have to develop more tag teams for the women. They have the tools, they have the numbers, but they got to bring more women up from NXT and bring them up as a tag team. Bayley and Sasha are no longer a thing. So name to me another women's tag team. The Riot Squad's been broken up. You got Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, but the way they've been using them, I'm starting to wonder if Sonya Deville's injured maybe. She's been just a manager lately.
Yeah.
So
I think
I'm gonna say bury the Iconics so you can build your division.
Yeah. I think Asuka and
But it's easy to forget about them because of where the division's at right now.
Exactly.
Both sides.
You're right.
Like we're just waiting for them.
And
now they're probably going to
Tamina
get
and
shots.
Nia are out because they're hurt.
Now
that was kind of
I'm pretty sure there will be no women matches at Super Showdown that I know of.
Yeah, because
of the cultural reasons. But their first title defense might be their last title defense, if you want to put it that way, because we know that we got Asuka and we got two former individual champions waiting for their moment. So it's only a matter of time.
He speaks the truth.
Yeah. We're about to tap in real quick, a little segment where we're just going to go over a couple things going on in the real world with the wrestlers. And first, we're going to talk about the Superstar Showdown. Now, you mentioned they needed to be careful about how big they made it, how they advertised it, because it could be bigger and better, perhaps, than WrestleMania. Now, Kofi Kingston, the WWE champion, is scheduled to go against Dolph Ziggler, like we mentioned before, at the Superstar Showdown. And what's up?
I'll read this quote.
Okay.
This quote you got for us a minute ago. Kofi Kingston, champion, says, and I quote, "The crowd and the energy is incredible. I love going to Saudi Arabia because the energy is just awesome. It's almost like a second WrestleMania over there with the pyro and all the events that go on. It's an incredible experience and has a special place in my heart." End quote.
Yeah, and he also spoke about the culture, because before they, when they were setting it all up, I'm sure they did tours over there to promote. And he spoke about embracing the culture, them embracing the superstar, and he loved it. He truly loved it. So, I like the fact that it's becoming bigger. WWE always has gone around America, the United States. So now that they're going and they're doing these shows over there, they're just expanding their brand. And you're seeing here firsthand that superstars are. He said it was one of the better experiences of his whole career. Now, if I were to go to Saudi Arabia, just the simple fact that I was able to go might have been one of the better experiences of my life. So I can only imagine for a lot of these people who've never been off of U.S. soil outside of their job, some of the things that it exposes them to. So pretty interesting facts there.
Tapping in real quick, I just saw this headline. Your thoughts. Daniel Bryan claims WWE Tag Team Division is best it's ever been.
Ever been? I'm going to have to decline that notion, because back when D-Generation X was the Tag Team Champions, you had all those guys you named previously.
Yeah.
And the potential of random guys to team up as well. Like, that was when spontaneous made sense back then.
The Rock and Sock connection? Boy, don't get me started.
So I see what he's trying to do. He's a great locker room presence, I believe, and he's also a great mind for them to listen to. So I think this is just, him kind of stirring up things amongst the guys, a confidence booster, and with the competition gaining ground before even really airing, they're going to have to just make statements like this just to pretty much put things out there for themselves. So we got Moxley versus Joey Janelle announced for the AEW's Fyter Fest. It's going to be in June 29th in Daytona. So this has been referred to as a dream match. It was a pretty big buzz whenever he did appear at the end of that Omega match, Jericho Omega. I knew about Ambrose / Moxley. I knew about his persona kind of before he came to WWE. I've seen his come up via promotions they've done once he was Dean Ambrose. I didn't actually follow him beforehand.
And the WWE Universe saw a little bit of that character right after the Shield broke up. Those dark promos that he would do in the back, almost like a back boiler room.
Okay.
That's kind of, so we saw glimpses of it, and then they would cut it off a little bit. It's really who he is at heart and how he wants people to perceive him.
And it's been and that was probably their attempt whenever they were letting him do that. That was probably their attempt to kind of like show him, hey, we'll give you a little bit more freedom if you stay around. So I don't know all the details of why he did part ways. Maybe had something to do. Okay, so I did find out that he didn't like creative. He took some shots at creative for the leukemia situation with Roman Reigns and how they played that into an episode of Raw, and how he had to do all those promos that day whenever he did break away from them and turn. He kind of said that was a lack of creative, having him do all that without really giving him what he wanted as far as control of himself either. It was just kind of like a last resort.
Right, and you can see there's an article on Bleacher Report right now, shout out Bleacher Report, where he rips the WWE's creative and specifically points to that Roman Reigns leukemia, how they kind of played on that a little bit.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's saying that his matchup is supposed to be a dream match. Janelle has been said to be one of the top names in the indie circuit for the past few years. So him serving time on the main the main circuit, I guess if that's what we want to call it, WWE, he's jumping to the rival brand. So are we even going to call this indie anymore?
No, AEW is not indie.
It's not indie.
It's like TNA wasn't indie. Once they get that TV deal and the pay-per-views, once you go above and beyond, kind of, even to me, Ring of Honor is past that indie point.
So it's like Nike and Adidas now.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same platform. It's just, what do you prefer?
Yeah, it's back to the days of the WCW, WWF feuds. You're gonna have, I foresee talent jumping back and forth here. I see, like we have here, still, we have wrestlers already commenting on how one show does the other. I will say, I was watching the feeds and a lot of WWE superstars were watching and tweeting about AEW.
I saw that as well.
Xavier Woods was in there.
We're in a different time period because all this wasn't around back when WCW.
Oh, absolutely. So, and a lot of them are applauding what some of these other superstars are doing on this other brand. So it's going to be interesting
it's
how...
a different type of rivalry because you're seeing the camaraderie, wrestling, the locker room's more aligned now.
But I will say that the AEW does not feel the same way about the WWE that some of the WWE superstars might feel about the AEW. There's been a lot of bashing on their end. Bashing. Vince, WWE Creative, like I just said. Moxley going after him. Chris Jericho spoke his mind.
You told me about a different type of bashing. What happened at that AEW?
Yes. For you guys that didn't see it, if you don't know, Cody Rhodes is one of the faces of AEW.
The money is coming from
Former WWE superstar
Cody Rhodes. Father is a Hall of Famer,
Dusty
Rhodes. At the show,
American Dream.
Cody Rhodes gets a sledgehammer passed by his wife, ex-WWE diva, because they were divas at the time.
She's fine too.
Takes a sledgehammer, right? And there's this throne that's kind of like the Triple H throne, the game's throne. Takes this sledgehammer, smashes it, crowd goes wild. So it's going to be interesting to see how the WWE responds. They did a weak response, I think.
Yeah, they had Sami Zayn just pretty much said, you could ask me questions about AEW. And that was pretty much it. They could have really knocked things out of the park with their Raw they had this past week to try to like make up ground for how much ground AEW is making on them before even really airing for all of us to see. I'm not able to really watch it. I'm not going to pay the money right now to watch them, but I definitely will have my eyes peeled when they drop.
Google it. Yeah, they will be on TNT this fall around the same time that SmackDown's going to Fox. So those rating battles are going to be interesting. But man, they have some talent. There's one of the greatest of all times there, Chris Jericho. Break down right here, doing the walls of Jericho to Roman Reigns.
My boy. That's not out.
You know, Christopher Daniels is there. One time he was on the roster. Billy Gunn works for them.
Before we say too much, let's take a short little break, and we'll get back to them with some more content.
I just like the sound of it.
Talk about some potential rivalries. Got a list. Some things I've been thinking about. He's got a list. Some things he's been thinking about. Gonna go over them with each other. Kind of just, see what we can talk about, because some of this stuff that we talk about manifests. It actually happens. So let's just kind of see.
We see it before they do.
Let's just kind of see what we see right now happening. So first of all, I've got Bray Wyatt versus Samoa Joe. Now, Bray Wyatt, he hasn't come back officially yet. Samoa Joe just dropped his title. He's on SmackDown, right? Or is he on Raw? Samoa Joe's on Raw now, so this will be a Raw matchup. Both guys are ruthless, okay? We've seen them attack people in the past. We've seen them play mind games. We've seen them be the bad guy. They do it well. So this will be a very violent, head-butting rivalry if it did occur. I would love to see this. Both guys like to hunt people. They like to hunt people. They kind of sit back. I remember whenever Samoa Joe first came, he was supposed to be like Triple H's hitman. He's going after Seth Rollins, jumping out of the crowd at him. Bray Wyatt, I could totally see him coming out of the crowd or from under the ring. The lights go out, the lights come back on. There he is. Samoa Joe isn't afraid of anything.
No, he ain't scared.
So it would be perfect. He would just play right into all of that. My next rivalry I have, it would be Big E versus the New Day.
Wait, he is the New Day.
Yes, a big portion of it, himself alone. And we have been anticipating, it's been rumored for at least 2 to 3 years.
It's coming.
That he's going to turn on the
New
Day.
Point.
So with Kofi being the champion, those guys had to go through a lot to help him get to that point. Kofi has not offered either one of them a title match as a gratitude and thank you. I could see that being a reason for one, if not Big E.
Has he even said thank you?
I'm not. He's kind of, sort of been like my brothers, this and that. But it's been all about Kofi, and they've kind of had to ride the back burners. And we're talking about former historic tag team champions here. So I think that in a way they can play that angle where he was supposed to pave the way for these guys to also have their singles opportunities at greatness. So that's a rivalry I have listed there. Another one I have listed, this is another one that was rumored to be manifested already. Lashley versus Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. Besides winning a majority of the titles in the past, Lashley was brought back primarily to be another heavy hitter. You know, I don't think they thought Braun Strowman was going to take off the way he did, but he did. It kind of put Lashley on the back burners when they went through their Braun Strowman phase. That ended up going the way it did. Lashley has shown that he can handle that and still bring himself back to a level of relevance. So, I think that with Lesnar full-time being committed now, we could see great matchups. They've done it before. Let's do it again. I mean, if there's two guys I want to see go at it, and it's not involving Drew McIntyre, Lashley and Brock Lesnar, please, let's make this happen.
So I pick one?
Yeah.
I like all of these. I think all of them could work, and I think all of them eventually could happen. I am down for getting Bray Wyatt in the show somehow. Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe. Like you said, ruthless. I think Bray Wyatt versus Samoa Joe could be really, really good. It could be one of those fights that start and never stops. They're just beating these snot out of each other an entire show.
That's
an entire show.
Yeah.
You know, oh, this is happening backstage. We got to get back to the ring. In the middle of the match, like, oh my gosh, you guys won't believe what's happening now. And flip it back to the Bray Wyatt's giving Samoa Joe a swirly. Oh, we got to get back to the ring. Somebody's about to get pinned.
Or,
they jump back
Samoa
to the
Joe's
ring.
destroying his puppets.
Right. Samoa Joe breaks into the firehouse, fire funhouse.
Firefly back, funhouse back. Yeah,
that place. You know, yes.
My pick is going to be definitely the Lashley versus Lesnar, but that one there, I would love to see as well.
Couldn't you see it though? Like on a Monday night, they're just fighting the entire night, and they got to keep cutting back and forth.
Yes,
because one of them's about to run over one of them with a forklift.
This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted with Samoa and Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
but I feel like Bray Wyatt would be a better fit for that because, like you said, those two guys all over the place. Samoa Joe doesn't fear nothing, so he'd go right back at him. Braun Strowman's been underneath Bray Wyatt's power before. So,
yeah,
there's so many possibilities if you get Bray Wyatt in a rivalry with anyone.
But in the right one, it could be magic.
Yeah.
It'd be darn good.
So who you got?
All right, some rivalries I got for you to contemplate.
first one, we're kind of seeing it already, right? But I think it can go above and beyond it. Ziggler and Kofi. I would even like to see maybe Ziggler become the new leader of the New Day, called the New Day, where Ziggler, because he's got that history with him and Big E. Remember, he kind of brought Big E up when Big E first started coming. So I think Ziggler could somehow show Woods and Big E that he's more appreciative of them than Kofi is. So they leave Kofi for Dolph. I think these two could put on some of the best matches just because their styles will mesh so well. So that's the first one I got. Next, we've already seen a little bit of it, but Shane McMahon's involved, and I hate Shane McMahon, so we might have to wait a little bit on this for them to do it right. Is The Miz versus Drew McIntyre. The Miz is so good on the mic. Drew McIntyre, that's probably his one downfall. But both of these guys are some of the business's best in the ring. I just think that they could do a really, really good, solid rivalry without Shane McMahon involved. Third, I think Roman Reigns is being wasted with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon shouldn't have one rivalry, let alone two right now. He's rivaling with Miz and with Roman. So I think Roman's kind of being wasted. If he's supposed to be the big dog, right? He's supposed to be the man, not Becky Lynch, but the real man, to run the place, to be the big dog, to be the face, to be the number one. He needs to go against the best heel in the business, Kevin Owens, with Sami Zayn. Now they got this wild card. He could be on Raw going up against Sami with Kevin Owens being there. He could go against Kevin Owens on SmackDown with Sami being there. Those two are such good heels that they could really boost and really make Roman the face that he needs to be.
I kind of feel like we've seen this before.
But I'm saying to a whole different level because Sami's been bashing the WWE, the WWE universe, right, since he's been back. That's been his MO, right? He's being quote unquote real with the audience. Who should defend the WWE's honor? I mean, if Roman's is the guy,
He's the guy.
it should be him, right?
But then again, he did punch Vince McMahon in the face. So, I don't know.
Well, which one of those three would you think would be best?
You know, I'm real big on Drew McIntyre. Real big. I'm a Drew McIntyre fan. And I'm a Miz fan. I'm a Misfit. But I'm going to have to go with one that I think that, you want to see as well. Ziggler, Kofi Kingston. Now we're going to get a preview of this. We're going to get a taste of this, see how it goes, see if it lives up to the hype that we think that it's going to live up to. But whenever I play their styles out in my mind the same way I did with AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, and all of these matchups really, there's no ceiling for the potential when you go with these rivalries because Ziggler could bring out a side of Kofi Kingston that we haven't seen. Ziggler could make Kofi Kingston more aggressive. Kofi Kingston's been dominant on a level that I didn't see. I thought he was going to lose his title. He's won 2 more matches maybe, since at least 1 more match against Kevin Owens. 2 more matches.
He's beat Kevin twice.
He's beaten 3 more matches then. He's beaten Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He's beaten Kevin twice. So, Ziggler...
He beat Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan, we thought Daniel Bryan was going to be hurt, and then he came back sooner than we thought, and they threw that rematch out there.
So, yeah.
He beat Daniel Bryan.
Ziggler's proven to be Ziggler, and this side, I mean, even when he was with Drew McIntyre when he came back, or he's been Mr. Money in the Bank before, so Ziggler is established, whether you like him or not. So put these two styles together, these two personalities together, this new Ziggler with this Kofi Kingston, with the potential of a betrayal on the New Day's portion. I'm curious to see what all can play out from this rivalry of all the ones you listed.
All right, last segment of the night, people. Over the top, or hang tough. The premiere segment of the show. Let's start it off. See what we got our topics. See what we got here. 24/7 title. R-Truth is current champion.
I'm gonna hang tough on this one. R-Truth actually dropped the title.
To who?
Elias.
What? Elias is champion now?
New 24-hour champion is Elias. Now, I think it's a good idea. We've been wanting them to bring back the hardcore title, just to bring some more excitement to the roster, to shuffle up those guys that doesn't really have a purpose, a place, not in any kind of title contention. They can at least get their feet a little wet. We're hanging tough on that.
Yeah.
Keep it in the right. I also think that it needs more attention throughout the whole show.
Yeah. The only comment I'll have is I'm worried. I'm a little worried about if they make it too much of a joke. There's a fine line they gotta play. Because, having guys like R-Truth hold the title for a little bit is okay. I'm okay with it. But be careful not to make it too much of a joke.
He held it and he dressed up like a woman to try to hide away from the guys. So there was that joke factor to it, but it's funny because we're seeing backstage, we're seeing them be a little bit more creative in a different way now by playing into R-Truth's character. He's one of the guys that you figure would be willing to do that type of thing. Yeah. And then now you got Elias as the champion. He likes to put on a show anywhere, anytime. So we're gonna see him. I've seen him run from some guys. So it was pretty funny. So now you get to zoom in on his personality. It gets what if we start seeing some women go after this title? There's a potential like a Nia Jax or somebody.
Beth Phoenix. Maybe one of these ladies. What if we see a legend come back and get the title?
Anything is possible with this belt. If they do more promos geared towards the backstage, towards that person grocery shopping in their normal life, they got the ride-along segments, all this. They can do anything. They can do anything with this belt. It's 24 hours. What if this belt winds up on another show? What if it's like a baseball game or something? What if they're out at something else?
Like I said, they got to do it right. There's a fine line that WWE needs to play here.
All right, so let's move forward on that.
Ambrose on AEW as Moxley. We've touched about a little bit on the show, so I don't think we need to speak anymore.
I'm going to throw that one over the top. We've already touched on that one.
Corbin versus Rollins at Super Showdown.
Good luck to Baron Corbin, but I'm going to throw this one over the top. We've already
not about it.
Over our feelings on
not about it. Christ ain't about it.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Raw is a 3-hour show. Last episode they had 57 minutes of actual wrestling? A lot of talking, not a lot of action.
I'll hang tough with just one moment on this one. So 15 minutes of that time in the beginning, in the first hour, was promo from Lesnar. And both camps being both champions. 15 minutes just to start the show off. They come out there, they start talking. And then after that, Dolph Ziggler attacks the WWE champion again. So all in all, we only really saw one real match in the first hour. And it was Shane McMahon versus some nobody. So, yeah, they need to do better with the time. That's with this new competition coming.
With AEW there, that ain't gonna fly.
No, not at all.
I got some news for you. The XFL is coming back. Vince's other pet project is coming back. It's coming back. And it's going to be on ESPN in 2020. XFL football coming back on ESPN. I'm going to hang tough just for a second. I don't know if it's going to work. It's never going to be the NFL. But the fact that they're going to be on ESPN is huge. It's huge.
That's definitely a win for them. I don't really remember much about how it went the first time, or the rule like, is it like arena football, or?
No, it's going to be legit real football, just...
I think if they made it like Blitz, the video game, you know,
That's how they tried to make the last time. It didn't work.
Yeah, it might just be a wrong error for them with all the safety precautions they're taking for sports and everything. So I'm really curious to see what's the difference going to be between that and the arena football that they had going on. Like, why do I want to watch this? Is it going to be at a different time than the NFL?
I think it's going to be like in the
offset season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe for those who just want to see some hits.
football, yeah. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, the new competition out there on TNT.
Now, we've talked a lot about AEW already.
Yeah. We're going to talk even more about it when we can watch it every week.
I'm going to throw that one over the
TNT.
top. I'm going to throw that one over the top. We're going to be talking a lot more about it, like you said.
One episode of Over the Top, we had Road Dogg stepping down as part of the creative team. Oh, you didn't know?
I'll hang up for just
He's
one
back.
moment,
Signed to work on NXT.
which, in my opinion, can only mean that he's doing something right. I mean, I didn't know he was a writer until he was about to go. So the fact that he was about to go was a story. So he's back. NXT keeps winning. NXT already, in my opinion, they kind of got it. They got it right with NXT. I don't know whether it's because we expect less out of these guys, and so all they can do really is impress us. And when they don't do so great, it's almost what we expect. I don't know whether it's just the standard we set on or what, but the fact that he's coming over there and that it's already been doing great, I think that's even better because that's Triple H's like child there, and they're buddies. So
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see NXT just get even better.
Speaking of AEW, Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. Some are calling it match of the year from their pay-per-view. I'm going to hang tough. I don't know, you said you didn't see it.
I didn't get a chance. I just saw the aftermath.
I went online, Googled it, there are some clips. I got to watch the whole match. They put on a show. These two brothers beat the daylights out of each other.
So is it a different side of him than Goldust?
Goldust is no more. He's Dustin Rhodes.
So what's the difference?
Now, he still has a little bit of face paint.
No, okay, as far as in the ring, for those people who are not familiar with him, that are familiar with Goldust, what can you tell us that would make me believe that that was such a great match about who he is over there?
He is, man, I don't know how to
Like
explain
more
it.
edgy or what?
More edgy, more serious. Goldust always, when he had those matches, would prey on his opponents. You know all the weirdness Goldust had, and then Goldust almost became a joke when he was with R-Truth. You know what I mean? And all that. So he's definitely more serious, more business, more about wrestling. He bled for like 15 minutes straight in this match. There was blood. They had to change the apron of the ring in between matches because there was blood everywhere. He was gashed. It wasn't a minor cut. He was gashed.
That's
It was
his
really
style,
good.
though. That's his style.
More on AEW. Billy Gunn has signed. He's listed as one of their coaches. He also worked the Battle Royal at the pay-per-view.
He looks jacked, like I said before in previous shows. I'm not surprised that he got back in the ring. I'm just going to throw that one over the top. But, good for them.
Last and least, do we have anything more to say about Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks. All I want to know is, can we get an update on her mental status
After
now that she's
Bayley's
watching?
the champ.
Now that she complained about dropping the title, they threw a fit. Now her former tag team partner is a women's champion, an individual champion. Sasha can only, if she would have came back, I can only imagine that she would have been in the women's Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
That could have been her.
What if WWE was gonna give that to her and just didn't tell her, and then she threw a fit and they're like, nope, bye.
That's on her.
Nope.
But all in all, the more I don't see Sasha Banks, I think the more I kind of miss her, just because there's just one more person missing. They're gonna have to fill that spot, and they haven't brought anybody up to replace that spot. It's a void in my life right now. Fill that spot.
They have plenty of talent.
Fill that spot.
Ember Moon, filled, done. Bye. Bye, Sasha. Bye.
Her character should have been on the list. Next time on Over the Top, we're gonna get into Ember Moon's character, okay? I don't know. Like, she's the Wolf Lady. She's Wolf Lady. We're gonna talk about
She's
this.
the Baron Corbin of the women's division.
Ember Moon?
They don't know what they're doing with her, so they're making her a lone wolf, and she'll do something else later. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Throwing that over the top, too.
Alright, guys. I want to thank you all for watching another episode of Over the Top. I'm your boy Mac, boy Bubs here. I want you guys to take a little time, go ahead and follow us on Facebook, like us, comment. You can find us at Immaculate Tone Productions. That's going to be on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Immaculate Tone Productions. YouTube as well. Give us a subscription. Like, share, please comment, email us if you want to do a segment, an interview, something of the sorts at Immaculate Tone Pro. That's at Gmail, okay? So, yeah, we're going to keep giving the universe what they want. We're going to be back with more pods and shows for you to enjoy in the near future. So until then, hang tough, hang tight, and take care.